So this is where we're headed. We're going to get to the jet in a bit, but first I'm going to start with the basics. First project we're going to do is very, very, very basic. This is going to be a simple cause and effect. So a very, very simple cube hitting a cube. This will kind of get us warmed up, just familiar with keyframes and that kind of stuff. The next project that we're going to do is going to be this bouncing ball. We're going to get into the graph editor, how to work with Bezier and interpolation, keyframes and that kind of stuff. The third project we're going to do is going to be this turret. So this is going to be more procedural animation. So we're going to be mostly focusing on keyframe animation as we go. This will get into particles and constraints and that kind of stuff, just to give us an overview of those kind of things. And then the last project is going to be our jet sequence. So the first three projects are going to be pretty straightforward in the sense that, you can copy my settings, you can use my same transform values, those kind of things. This sequence is going to be certainly a challenge. It might look really, really complicated from a technical perspective. It's actually very simple from a technical perspective. The challenge for this one isn't going to be the technical side, it's going to be the artistic side. So it's going to take you a couple different times to do this. The first time you go through it, if you're new to animation, it's not going to look as flashy. It's going to look a little bit rough around the edges. That's totally fine. Just kind of get through it the best you can. And then the more times you try to recreate it, the more you practice, the more you'll get better. We're going to be working with the grayscale version. I am going to ship the texture version of the jet as well, so you have the models and everything. There'll be downloads below where you can get all that. I'm going to ship the sky plate, everything that you needed to create this exact sequence right here. And then afterwards, if you want to use the textured version to do full-on renders and that kind of stuff, that's all going to be there for you. So one tip moving forward, I'm going to be using the render view a lot. If you're on a slower computer, try to stick in viewport shaded mode as much as possible. And then you can switch over to this to kind of see what you're doing. So this is how traditional animation is usually done. If you got a higher end graphics card, you can get away with just preview and Eevee. It's pretty fast. But if you don't have a higher end graphics card, it's going to definitely lag a bit. So try to stay in viewport shaded as much as possible. And yeah, we'll talk about animation roadmap in the next chapter.